good afternoon. I just shaved, so I think I look kind of weird right now, or different, but let's see. So, it's as you can see, pretty much getting ready to do this thing. What is this thing, you ask? Tune in. I wouldn't drop out necessarily. I still believe in it. I still think there's something to be found near there, around that area. I have my work ahead of me. It's not cut out for me. But it's there. I have to wait for my tolerance to go down either way. So that's looking at about 2 weeks to a month before there's a higher chance of it being lit necessarily. Exactly. I've been there. Different kinds of things. And nowadays, everyone is getting baked every day. It's better to let your tolerance go down, I think. I didn't really just want to say there's gotta be different topics to address and discuss. It should be worth it. I mean, they say take risks, but I guess a risk isn't always worth it. Is it a game? I don't hate the player, hate the game. Just understanding reality. I actually know the laws of physics, and I've been following all the science and data since I was a kid. Whether you want to run any experiments or not, design your own experiment for anything. And so it must be like, oh, well, what's on everyone's mind then? I mean, it must be living a good life or trying to, so that most people, or everyone, I'm sure has their bills to pay or anything like that. So basically money might be like most people's main concern or whatever. And you don't, not like you have to wait a long time to make cash or mine for Bitcoin to see results in essence. So it's your time, your blood, sweat, and tears, energy. You exchange it for a wage or salary, typically, and people are basically like, if it's not helping me with that, then I don't want it. It must be useless. Not just in any society, because then it's about having fun, and it's like, well, how do you do that? How should I do that? How can I do that? And you listen to various pieces of advice, most likely, and you have to like sift and wade through whether it might be good or bad, or useless or not. And so that's how you would gauge an individual's use or value in a society, not just this society, but mostly any other one. And they'll look at you and they'll be like, what is his work, or where is his work? Like, what does he or she do, or what are they doing? I would assume that that might be what's going on in their mind or their head, or their thought processes, and it's basically what their life is about at that point. When they start thinking like that and whatnot, or whatever, for whatever it is that they focus on in their day-to-day things. But it's not just that that's all that I see mostly, because it's like, well, what is it? I mean, it must be something, like, for whenever anything happens, or whatever, you'll respond to a crisis, or, to a crisis, or crises, and that's mostly the main thing, probably not just as an organism, but then it's the fractal existence of nature and mathematics, where you'll see patterns, anything. So more than often, a thing will avoid harm or direct pain via physical sensation, unless they're addicted to it, then they'll like subconsciously seek it out or something. But it'll all be in the brain and like wired through it. Ingraining patterns, not just in your behavioral patterns or routine, but the actual physical brain will be imprinted with it, almost, sort of, like, as far as the anatomy goes, I mean. And so there would be a definition for that, I guess, and it would just mean that, or the same thing, basically, almost, but yeah, and it's all for like the same topic or whatever. So it's like, oh, how does that relate to money or cash? And then, someone's gonna be like, oh, you want to help me help pay my bills, or like help take care of my child's thing, or related to that, it'll be like a child support thing, not like a deadbeat dad or anything like that, but they'll be expensive, I guess, for most people, not just whether you're working like a minimum wage job or any kind of thing like that, but which there's nothing wrong with. Especially if you're in high school or like a teenager, working at McDonald's or something, but or fast food. And then it's like, well, yeah, I wish I could make it more mind-blowing than that, but it all is related to that, and I'm not saying it's like social programming or any manipulation or, Illuminati symbol programming or anything like that, but you start connecting the dots, or, you don't even start, but it's like, oh, connect the dots, and then, you get like a pattern, or any kind of thing. It's not really different, it's kind of the same, I guess. And pretty much like on that note, that basically means all the standard rules apply, and you already know, basically, it's like you should be expected to know, or you could like learn, and so that's where games come from, I think. Like, people try to play the games or any kind of game to make it seem like they could always get the upper hand. So they always want the upper, like, and it's not just for like survival, or it won't just be like, oh, I'm gonna make like hella more money than you, or I have more money than you already, or or I make more money than you, or something, and then say, I'll have more fun than you, or whatever they deserve, or whatever they think they deserve, or whatever they do deserve, or like whatever happens, or whatever ends up happening, or whatever might end up happening, or any accident, or anything. Because someone's gonna say, like, oh, it's karma, and then someone's gonna say, oh, karma's bullshit, karma doesn't exist, and so you know, you use logic and rationality to piece it together and get the thing or whatever, and then you know, it'll basically keep going on and on until die, basically. I think so one day or someday, whatever technology, cryogenesis, or put your consciousness in the supercomputers, you live forever, or whatever, or not any afterlife thing, but so it's like they're there on whatever planet or whatever it is. And it's just the same things going on, and so there's going to be a club, and it's going to be like, oh, there are unspoken rules, or the first rule of this is whatever, and it'll be the same pattern or the same kind of different game, but they're gonna want the upper hand or power and the position to just do whatever. And it's like you don't need to talk, like you don't have to manipulate it into existence via your will that way. It's like, oh, I'll do it like a social thing and like make a bunch of friends and have like a network so I could like manipulate a situation or do a little kind of thing like that. And then it'll usually like work out too, or people are gonna say not even that, it won't, but I mean, like, it'll be a help yourself to help everyone else. Like, if you want to help yourself first, and then they say start with your neighbor, and then it's like, oh, do that, like a farmer's market, local thing, community. It's like, well, what's going on? So it's not even as if it's all just like preparation for an event or like a final event or anything like that. You should always be prepared or something. This is so once you see that it's just mammals and really, like little monkey people fighting and scrambling for existence, like for any of that, for like whatever they want. First, maybe like some people like want you to put yourself first or love yourself, so there'll be any kind of thing like that that comes along with it. And it's like, say you die or something, and you're born, no one knows what happens after you die, and whatever the consciousness is or wherever it goes, and then I'll probably say something like that. and they'll be like, oh, that's not science, that's not logical. But and just because it's not necessarily like proven doesn't mean it's true, or whatever model you support, or whatever features you think do or do not come along with that supported model, which would basically be like the standard model, or and however it would integrate, say, quantum gravity, and however, say, we end up figuring out, or like say the scientists actually working, say, in labs or at NASA, figure out what exotic matter or dark energy are, and it's like we probably already know what they are, and however it's all figured out, and whatever like the consciousness is, which would be like a radio wave, say like the brain is a transmitter receiver, tuning into any vibrations, and however it happens. So it might sound stupid or something, but you basically look at it like that, and then say something that goes along with your beliefs, and then whether you don't need proof to see, and like what it might really mean, or say or you could even be incapable of seeing or believing, and basically they're gonna say, why can't people just get what they want, or go for what they want? And there's plenty customs in society, which are basically rules or traditions in the social sphere, that are in place for what they are for. And there must have been a lot of thought put into it. And they say there's nothing new under the sun. So at which point it'll become which reality is experienced. And say if they've already been integrating a quantum supercomputer, holography, laser technology as well, then it would be like a time thing, reaching back into the past while the past is also going into the future. And for that, that'll also basically be like a fractal, but it'll be like a not unlike a torus, just like a donut shape in space, and geometry of a sort, but kind of like a Mobius strip, or also the Ouroboros, which is the twin snakes eating itself from the tail, which represents, life and rebirth, and also in like a biblical sense, it being, like a reptile, which is like the snake, which was in the Garden of Eden, which told her to eat the apple and have the whole thing happen, which they did that. And then, humans are mammals for what we are, and wherever the life originally came from, as far as being bacteria and RNA, which obviously came from space, as it originated on Earth, possibly from various comets and asteroids, asteroidal impacts, as it were. Over millions of years and billions of years. That happening, so the brain became a thing, and it evolved. So the different layers. So there's a reptile part of the brain, beneath the layer of the mammalian part of the brain, which reptiles don't really have, and so that limbic system contains certain basic things like emotions and stuff like that. Not particularly rough logical analysis, which is more of a neocortex thing. But the R complex, which is the reptilian part of the brain, is responsible for all the basic survival processes. You look at a lizard, whatever it's doing is what we'll do too in the brain, in that part of the brain, in relation to the neocortex and the limbic system, causing decisions and perceptual, not biases, but processes, and when you do certain things, it activates certain parts of the brain, and that'll basically be responsible for what you perceive as far as reality being. And so there's still laws of physics, so it's like you're stuck. I mean, you could have like an out-of-body experience or anything like that. You can't really like switch bodies or identities with people or anything like that, but which would be like black magic or sorcery and occult stuff. But so because there's like laws of physics, there's a law, there's a laws of physics. It's that's what makes it realistic, and that's what relativity is. General relativity, special relativity, general relativity, which came out in 1915, and special relativity came out in 1905 by Albert Einstein, and it describes the universe being like hyper-realistic in this, which is where we are. If you look at it, we're like still in the Stone Age, basically, but we just start integrating modern technology like computer circuits and electricity. So, and some nuclear fusion and fission stuff, which is just a source of energy. So we can't really like harness it or do anything with it, but we can like destroy stuff with it, like drop a bomb and just explode all the energy. And not like a neutron bomb or different kinds of bombs, but so it could be something like that.